What is up, everyone? My name is Lisa, for those of you that may not know. So, I'm going to read you a couple verses from this song that I'm moved to talk about, because there's something here about like just keep moving forward. Like, I know, okay, let me just read this first before I get all excited. I get really freaking excited. Okay, so this is from the song. It's called Let It Burn by Shabuzi. And so it says, packed her bags at 3 a.m. She ain't tell no one she was on the run. Yeah, felt like the world came crashing down. Dead broke, she ain't have the funds. Yeah, sleepless nights were not that fun. Yeah, at bus stops, but ain't no bus coming. Pray to God, said, please, can you pull me out? But God said that the test ain't done yet. Contemplating leaving all this behind, but I'm begging you, don't give up. Yeah, life's a trip, and when it trip you up, you lace up and go run it up. Yeah, fog out, but the blue sky's coming. The universe is up to something. You done came too far to turn back now. Grab the matches, start a fire, throw the memories in the flames. It's behind us. See the gold in the red new horizons. Let it burn, let it burn. Okay. So I was getting all kinds of, just a few different words kept popping up, this song. And then I also got the word mental illness. Okay. Mother Mary came through, Lady Guadalupe, Mary Magdalene, Isis. Okay, it's okay, so I'm going to keep it on one subject because I almost went down a rabbit hole there. Okay, so how I relate to it, that's what I'm being moved to share to you, right? Because I feel that, I don't like to point at people and say, this is how you feel, right? I want you to make your own decision, and you better than anyone, right? Nobody gets to tell you who you are. So first off, that song, it's really about like the future and moving towards everything new, right? Letting go of the past, all right? But how do we get there, right? How do we get there? I know, for me, it's been this long journey, right? And how it all relates to like Mother Mary, Lady Guadalupe. I even have her on my arm. I have a special connection to her. But Mother Mary, she helps children. She just helps with healing. She's very soothing. My dad used to pray to Mother Mary a lot, and she's just very soothing. She also helps with mothers and even with your relationship with your mother. Okay, so something about like recovery and the journey, right, of healing, right? It's not, nothing happens overnight. Okay, it just doesn't. And you can wish that it would, but it doesn't. And this spiritual journey, it's all like fun and games, and it looks really cool when like people are like doing yoga and like taking ayahuasca or whatever the fuck it's called, and they're doing, whatever. People can do whatever they want, but just because you can do yoga, or just because you talk really soft, or just because you can do the Tibetan singing bowls, or just because you do Reiki or whatever, doesn't mean that you are a healed person, right? And like a lot of people do certain things or wear certain things, and they look more the part of what peace, love, dope, whatever. Okay, and it's really none of that stuff, right? And a lot of people can look a certain way or carry a certain tune or or say whatever and present themselves in a certain way, and it can seem much more flattering to the eye, right? And more people are more drawn to it because it sticks out in that way. It's like really shiny, right? But you know what my journey has shown to me is that, okay, like in that song, it's like the test isn't done yet, right? Like the clouds are still dark, right? Like I'm not seeing no fucking sunshine and roses, right? Like what, and rainbows and unicorns. Like where the fuck is this shit, right? I'm still over here busting my ass, right? And like that is part of the journey. It's like learning to enjoy that part of it. All right, okay, the steps that it takes to find the peace, right? So I'm a believer in, and when I say I'm a believer, I have come to believe the things that I say after whatever I'm saying. I'm a believer of this because of my own experience, right? It takes time for things to, like, I can understand things logically in my brain, but like to really like envelop, or what is it? Like to really like embrace all that, whatever that is means, like, because I could read things out of a textbook and be like, yes, this is what it takes to become a better person, right? Just because I know that doesn't make me a better person, right? It's like I have to take the action. Like I have to actually apply those steps to my life, right? In order to have any kind of change to come about, right? So just to use this as like through my sobriety, right? Because in my sobriety, that's when my true change of self like really started to happen for me, right? I've shared on here before about, you know, my spiritual experience and all that stuff, so I'm not going to go into it now, but the point is that I had to practice myself, like practice my way into new behavior, right? Like I had never been sober, man. I had my first drink at 12, right? I was 29 now, right? I drank every single day. I partied like a freaking rock star, right? So I have no idea what people who don't drink do, right? So I was like, I was a basket case, right? So what I did was I went to meetings all day long, right? I had like a group thing early in the morning, and then after that I was required to at least go to one meeting a day. And so, but I had nothing else to do. I was like incapable of working at that time, and I was being completely funded by the state and living in a halfway house. So, you know, I went to meetings all day long, and I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Okay, I was I couldn't concentrate, right? I had a lot of dis-ease within me, okay? And so I had to practice just going and sitting and being still, you know, for a moment, like not getting out of my chair, right? Like that was like a huge accomplishment to be able to like sit in the chair, and like even if I was just looking up at the front of the room, you know, like usually I sat in the front row, because if I sat anywhere else besides like directly in front of who was speaking, then I was distracted by every other thing that was between me and that person speaking, right? So I had to do what was best for me, because that's another thing. It's like making these little choices, you know. What I've also learned is that healing is going against the grain. And even when you're in an environment surrounded by a lot of people who say they, you know, want to heal or are healing, it's like not everybody has the same interpretation of what healing actually is, you know, or what that means for them. You know, I know for me, what I wanted was peace of mind. I wanted to be independent, and I wanted to be more than what I ever thought I could be, and more than what anybody else ever thought I could be as well, right? So, but it was like one step at a time. It was fucking baby steps, all right? And it was very uncomfortable, okay? I know that I'm just going to speak about what I know, all right? So I know for me, it's been about practice, practice, practice. It's been about one step forward, two steps back. One step forward, two steps back. One step forward, two steps back. Okay, but that is still moving forward, right? It all counts. And then learning how to give myself a break when I don't do things perfectly. You know, when I got sober, I don't know where this comes from. And well, I do know where it comes from. It's handed down from generation to generation, is this like idea of like Gary Vee, that guy Gary Vee, he talks about it all the time, about how there's like no time limit on where, you know, what you have to do, you know, what you know, to accomplish anything in life, right? So, you know, these time restraints were like just passed down to us, right? It's like, you know, whether it's like from your parents or whatever, they say, oh, you need to be married by here. You go to school, then you go to college, and then you get this great job, and then you get married, and blah 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 blah. Okay, well, I never wanted that life. Okay, back in my day when I was younger, people had things called hope chests, and they would like put all this stuff in it, like where for your wedding or something. And I was just like, fuck that, I ain't doing that, you know. Like I had no, like, that just never sounded like anything I wanted, you know. And it's not that I don't ever want to like be in some sort of commitment or whatever, but it was just like, I just always thought that was fucking weird, you know. But there are people that like really base their lives around these traditions, right? And so to be the person, possibly in your family or within your friend group or whatever, where you're like breaking the chains of whatever, like, oh, everybody's supposed to do this and fall in line, it's like, it's really uncomfortable, you know. But it doesn't have to be, you know. Even doing things that were outside of my comfort zone or outside of the realm of like staying in line and not disrupting, you know, or, you know, it's like not telling, you know, certain secrets of the family or whatever. But it's like, there are certain things that like I needed to talk about. If I didn't talk about, I would never freaking have the peace and comfort that I have today, you know. I remember also in early recovery, you know, I come from a background of a lot of sexual trauma, right? So I had a lot of healing to do. Okay, I was a very broken person, and you know, to be where I am today, you know, this is, you know, 23 years later in sobriety is like, it fucking blows my mind, right? So, and even still today, there are people that refuse to see me as who I am today and only see that version of me like before I even stopped drinking, you know? So, you know, as my sobriety has gone on, I've like distanced myself further and further away from these people because that's not my reality anymore. And it's like, nobody can keep me there, you know? So, but things like this took time, you know, and I had to go through different phases of releasing these people, because a lot of these people were a part of my life for either all my life or like the last 30 years of my life, you know, like they were people that have been there, right? So, but it's like, there have been decisions along my path that I've had to make where it's like, I have to either choose my healing and growth, my peace of mind, or to stay in a box, right? And I continue to choose my healing, right? Because I honestly just believe that that's what we're here for, right? Is to heal, you know, and to heal for me, you know, I talk about it, you know, on my other videos about the balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine within. Now, did I start off thinking that? No, but as my journey has like unfolded, and as I began to study different things and look into different things and experience different things within my own healing and my own journey, things change. My thought processes have changed. My perspectives have changed. Different people have come into my life and shared experience with me. I have also made huge mistakes. It's been from my biggest mistakes that I have had the biggest breakthroughs about or in my healing, right? And there's also this thing that can hold people back from it's discomfort, right? It's this discomfort can come when it's like maybe you're the only one in your family who is willing to talk about the elephant in the room, right? Okay, and so everybody else ignores the elephant. Okay, everybody else even like what are you talking about, Lisa? There's no fucking elephant. Okay, so it's like, all right, you can make a decision. Like that's a decision time. Like, okay, so are we gonna stay in this room where, you know, you see the elephant, but everybody else is saying, Lisa, it's not really there. Okay, and they're all like grouping together. Okay, this can happen in families. This can happen in work environments. Okay, friend circles. It's happened for me like in all areas. All right, and it can be very nerve-wracking, right? And this is why it's so important in the beginning of your healing journey, because I feel like I'm talking to some people out there who are just beginning, you know, their healing journey, and it's like very important to take your time, be good to yourself in the meantime. Know that it's not going to happen overnight. And more than anything, the things that have broken you or maybe come to you and they hurt you the most or whatever, it's like God is preparing you for your future. Like when I have, like there's a song that I've listened to like ever since it came out. It came out in like the early 2000s, and it's a Sean Paul song, and it's called Rockabye, and he's singing a song about, and he's singing it with this other woman. I forget what her name is right now, but it's a single mom story, right? And it's about this mom saying, your life isn't going to be anything like my life, right? So I know that since I've given birth to my son, the vision that I've had for us, like it's stayed in my head, and I always knew that one day it was all going to come together, right? One day I was going to be able to do it, but there were things that I needed to do and things that I have to do in order for me to like be prepared to be that person who I like, to live that life that I have been envisioning for myself and my kids, like ever since my son was first born, right? So it's like, first I needed to get sober, you know, and I needed to lay that foundation in my sobriety so that like, I really like, I don't want to drink anymore. Like where alcohol and drugs took me, like I never want to go again, and I never want to go there with my kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, my relationship with my higher power, my higher self, God, that's who I choose to call him. That comes first and foremost, okay? And in that, little by slowly, I began to trust him with like the big, serious things in my life, right? But it was all a process. Like nothing happened overnight. So wherever you are, even if you're frustrated with your progress or whatever, it's like, know that you're being prepared, and look at it like I've gone through like a whole bunch of like really shitty fucking things, right? Like everybody else has experienced crappy things too, but it's like you can either stay mad about these things, or it's like you can see your part in it. This is what I do. I ask to see my lesson, right? I ask, show me God, show me the lesson, because I'm ready to move past this. I don't want to do this anymore. And sometimes I can see the lesson, but I'll still go back because I'm like, I'll just do it, because I'm like, it's this whole thing I call flirting with disaster, right? I just like stick my toe in, I do something, I'm like, oh yeah, it's still, that's right. It's like still it's still doing the same thing, right? And it's taken me time after time, and just being willing to, like, I honestly don't give a fuck what people think. I have been so talked about and betrayed by my friends and my family that I just don't give a shit anymore. The one person that has always had my back is God, right? And myself. And I feel like my life has really taught me about learning how to stand alone. And it's not that I always will be alone, or that I even want to be alone. It's that I needed to go through these experiences and learn these lessons and take these falls so that I could keep getting up. And it's like each time something happened, I learned a little bit more about myself. And okay, so it's like this time I stayed there, or the first time I stayed there this long, okay, or I do something this for this amount of time. The next time I do it, I only stay there this amount of time, and then 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 it's like the next thing you know, it's like you're not even like thinking about it. Oh, and which brings me to another song and another word. It's Indifference, and I want to look up I had that but indifferent, right? So because the opposite of hate is not let me see, wait, let me look. It's when having no particular interest or sympathy, unconcerned, neither good nor bad, mediocre. So it's like you feel nothing about it, about the situation, right? And that has been a very beautiful experience for me. It has been a process of eliminating my thought processes. It's also taken a lot of courage and strength to walk away from different dynamics, like whether it's like a job where it's like, okay, it's offering me a certain amount of security, but it's like, what's more important, my peace of mind, or this job that says like this is the only place I can be, or it's not the only place I'm going to find this security, right? I just don't believe that, but until I could like face my different fears of living without whatever it was that I thought I wanted or was clinging to, that person, place, or thing just kept disrupting my thought process and my life, right? Until I made peace with it. And making peace with those disruptive thoughts and just that disharmony with others or whatever, it's like that takes practice. Like when I look at people and acting foolish or whatever, like doing whatever it is, like I can I see you. I don't, I feel, because honestly, it's like we're all these children, right? It's like all these unhealed little children running around until we choose to heal, right? But the first step in healing is always awareness. A lot of people stay clueless to the fact that they need to change anything at all about them, right? And there's also people that know okay, or even it's been brought to their attention, but still decide to act as if that's not true. And that's fine, right? That's on them. But it's like having a sense of compassion. You know, I can look at people today with a sense of compassion and understand, like, I remember acting like that. Or even if it's not a behavior that I've done, it's just I can look at them with more compassionate eyes, because it's like, for somebody to be responding to me or just to life in such a disrespectful way or hurtful way, or however it is, something's going on there, right? And it's not for me to criticize or judge them. You know, I can just keep on moving on with my life, right? And it doesn't have to hold me back. I don't have to get stuck or paralyzed in, you know, trying to figure out why they're doing this to me, right? It doesn't even, like, I don't even go there, you know. It's just like, I just, you know, keep it moving. I don't even, a lot of times there's a little prayer that I say, it's like, bless them, change me. But lately I've been realizing that that's not even up to me. It's really up to God. I totally believe that karma is real, and we all get what we've given. And whenever that circles back is whenever it circles back. And I just say that because I know that I have definitely received some stuff, you know, in response to, you know, my past behavior. And that's why, like, moving forward, like, I really check myself. I try to think about how I say things and the way that I present myself and show up. You know, all I want to do is be me, because all I was before I started my recovery process or my spiritual journey was, I was whoever anybody needed me to be, and I was terrified to say the things I really wanted to say, do the things I really wanted to do, or I could be easily influenced to do something else, you know. And today I stand for something, and that's what it's just been really. It's just been so worth it. Like, the spiritual journey is not like glitz and glamour and you know, like, it does not look beautiful. Like, the spiritual journey is a healing journey from the inside out, and it's never ending. Like, right? Like, you just go through, like, layers. Like, the layers just keep getting stripped off, and it becomes easier and easier to present yourself as who you are. And, you know, my experience has been, is like, as I've done this, and as I've, like, just trusted God where he's moved me, and trusted in what he's put on my heart to share about, you know, to open up and to be so raw and real, you know, on freaking YouTube, you know, for all the world to see, you know, my intuition, my experience, my wisdom has grown, right? It's like, and I've learned it from my own experience, right? Like, yes, there's been different people that have come into my life at different periods of time to teach me things, but I've also been, you know, by those same people, like, I've also been taught, like, not to put anybody on a pedestal, right? So it's like, because we're all the same, right? We're all the same. We're all, God created us all in his likeness, right? So we're all these gods and goddesses, and which makes us creators, right? We're creators of our own world, our own universe. But it takes the stripping of everything that the illusion or the disbelief of who you truly are, or the thought that you can be anything that you want to be, right? it takes the removal of all that. And so how do we remove that? And for me, the only way that I could remove those judgments and all those lies was to really heal from the inside out, so that I could like face my fears, right? And I could face my fears. I could walk away from the people, places, and things that block me. I could say, no, you know what, like, and learn how to stand up for myself, and also learn how to walk away and not have to justify myself. Like, that is, I used to always be fighting, right? I used to always just be angry. I used to always just like feel like I had to make everybody see like how rotten somebody was, or how I was right? But it's like, none of that shit matters, man. I just gotta live my life, and I have to move to, like, what I need to do is what's best for me, and take care of my kids, and, you know, try to have as much fun as possible, you know, even though in the life, like the everyday mundane of life, and, you know, bills and whatever else can like be stressors or burdens in your life, it's like, it's really easy to fall into just being overwhelmed, right? And it's like in those times where it's like, I'm not saying you're never going to feel overwhelmed, right? Because I definitely have felt that way, right? But it's like, in those times, it's like, what am I going to do, right? What am I gonna, like that meme, you know, which wolf are you going to feed? There's two wolves, right? Because whatever part of your brain that you listen to, like, that's the part that's going to grow. So if you listen to the wolf that's like barking and angry and bad, you know, and you just like keep feeding into that, like, of course it's just going to like keep growing, and you're just going to get madder and madder and madder. But if like you pull out the tools, like do the things that can counteract those like just adding new behaviors, right? Like, I know for me, exercise is like a really big thing. When I'm not exercising, I am like not myself, right? It's like, I feel so fucking off, right? And, you know, there's meditation. There's, you know, for me, like, you know, because I don't drink, like helping other people is something that, really benefits me. Like, for me to like just get out of what I'm even experiencing, right? And just help others, right? And you know, giving of my time freely, right? So, and those are things that can really like take me out of myself, you know. Also journaling, right? Writing, okay? Yeah. So, you know, whatever it is for you, like just doing things that I like to do. Sometimes what I need to do to like get out of that funk is like watch a romantic comedy, because I love romantic comedies, because for me, I have like a really hard time. I've always had a hard time crying. And so, like, I didn't ever really cry as a kid. And so you can imagine, like, as an adult, like having to like release it, it was very difficult to do that, you know. And so what's helped me is watching romantic comedies. Why? Because they make me laugh, but they also make me cry. They have me have this outlet, right, where I can cry. So it's just, there's little behaviors, you know, and that you can seek out, rather than feeding the part of you that just like festers. Like, if you're not going to call, if you're feeling angry, like, you're not going to call up somebody, or you shouldn't call up, like, even if it's a friend or a family member, that's just going to fuel that freaking animosity and like co-sign the bullshit, right? Like, you know, for me, like, I if I'm calling a friend, I'm calling somebody who's going to take me out of the solution, right? Sometimes you just need to freaking have a snack, right? Or take a nap, you know? And it's like that's why it's important to also have people in your life who are on the same path as you know, wanting to better themselves and wanting to move forward, because, you know, they will call you out on your shit. Like, a true friend tells you the truth, right? You don't want people in your life fucking lying to you and saying, yeah, it's okay if you act fucking crazy. No, that shit is not okay. It is not okay. Yeah, so anyway, let's get one here, just like special advice card here. Look, you are strong beyond measure, stepping into your power. And that's what your healing journey is going to do. And it's like, as you do this, you are teaching others to do it too, right? To honor their truth, right? You are the light holder. So maybe who I'm speaking to, you are the person that is changing things in your family, or changing things just in your whole life. Like, you are that black sheep, right? And it's all good, baby. You got the power. Yeah, see, enjoy your journey. All right, I love you guys. I hope this has inspired you. And yeah, I love you. I'll see you soon. And if anyone's interested in a personal reading, or just want to reach out to me, all my information is in the description box. Bye.